Hey, what's up, guys? This is a sit, paint, and play start collecting review. Basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run over one of the new start collecting box sets, and I'll pretty much tell you what's in it, give you their stats, and tell you their abilities. I might talk a little bit about them depending on how much I know and kind of what I glanced over, maybe how I would personally use them. So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll get down to it. So first things first. We have the Arcan the Black. This is going to be your hero. He has a movement specific to a chart that is in his character profile. I believe he is a flying unit. He has a 4+ save, 10 bravery, and 11 wounds. So he's actually quite a bit of a tank. Then we're moving on to Skeletal Warriors. They have a 4-inch movement, 6+ save, 10 bravery, 1 wounds. The undead are brave, but they're not very fast or very strong. Black Knights, those are going to be your riders. They have a 12-inch movement, 5+ save, 10 bravery, and 2 wounds apiece. We're going to look at Arcan the Black first. Yes, I was correct. He is a flying character, whatever you want to call him. He has an ability called Feaster of Souls. It's 2+ wounds. He gains back 2 wounds. I apologize, goodness. At the end of each combat phase in which he slew any other models. So that can make him pretty stinking tough, especially with 11 wounds to start with. He has the Staff of Spirits. When casting a spell or unbinding a spell, add Kanash and Ans. I'm not sure if that's a character or somebody else. It might be the writer's name. I don't know. Modifier on the damage table to the roll. So I guess you get to add your damage modifier to the roll of your spell casting or unbinding. You have Mortarch of Sacrament. It's add +1 to Arcan's casting roll for spells, allows you to summon death units. So this would be awesome for, obviously, this is a summoning army. Pretty much is kind of what they're based around. Their hero is a summoner, and you're just going to be pulling skeletons up out of the ground all day. Frightful Touch. Hit roll for an attack made by this spirit, spectral claws, and daggers is 6 or more. Their Frightful Touch stills the victim's beating heart, inflicting one mortal wound instead of the normal damage. So basically, it's like an instant mortal wound. Goodness, I cannot talk to you. I apologize, guys. So that's what happens there. And then his magic is he can cast 2 different spells in the hero phase and attempt to unbind 2 spells in each enemy hero phase. So as far as a caster goes, that's that's awesome. As far as a sorcerer, that's probably one of the best I've seen so far. He knows Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield, and Curse of the Year spell, which is actually pretty awesome. Once I read over it, I was like, that's freaking sweet. But he knows any spells of any death wizards within 18 inches of him. So he's already pretty powerful, so they beefed him up quite a bit. So basically, Curse of the Years goes the cast value of 6, and honestly, though, I think it should almost be possibly even higher with how powerful this is. It's pick a visible unit within 18 inches and roll a 10 dice for each 6 inflicted a mortal wound. Each 6 inflict a mortal wound, and roll an additional dice for each 5+ the target suffers another mortal wound. So basically what happens is you roll 10 dice, if there are any 6s, and inflicts a mortal wound. And then you also, for every 6 that you got, you roll an additional set of dice. And then on that roll of dice, for every 5 that you get, 5+, they suffer an additional mortal wound. And then you roll again with all the 5+ that you had. So let's say you roll 6 and get 5. So you roll 5+, and then you get 3. So then you go ahead and roll those 3, and you have to get it on a 4+, and it goes so on and so forth until you either don't roll any of the number that you need, or the unit dies. So honestly, it's pretty stinking cool. So lots of mortal wounds there coming from this guy, yeah, along with all of his intense magic abilities. And then he also has a command ability. If Arcan uses this ability, then all Death Wizards within 18 inches of him can increase the range of their spells by 6 inches. So basically this is a magic summoning army. They're freaking sweet. Let's move on to the Skeleton Warriors. Skeleton Warriors, the Skeleton Champion, he makes 2 attacks instead of 1. With an Icon or Standard Bearer, you can return D6 slain models to this unit in your hero phase if it includes any Icon or Standard Bearers. So that can be pretty devastating. I mean, honestly, you could probably just, depending on how lucky you are, you can pretty much just keep them rolling in. They're kind of like Necrons in a way. So, pardon me. Hornblower. This unit can move 6 inches when it charges, unless its charge roll is higher than the actual 6 inches. So that's pretty sick. So they automatically get 6-inch charge. Serve in Death. Add 1+ to hit rolls for units of Skeleton Warriors that are within 18 inches of a Death hero. So if you guys keep these guys close to Archon, they get a +1 to their rolls. To hit rolls, I'm sorry. And then there's the Skeleton Legion. If you have 20 or more units in one squad or whatever, you get +1 attack. And then for every +30 units, you get 2 attacks. So if you have 20 units in your squad, you get 2 attacks each guy. And if you have 30 guys, then you get 3 attacks each guy. So that can be pretty devastating eventually. Especially with the bringing guys back and stuff like that. They all carry Crypt Shields. It's add 1 to save rolls for a unit carrying Crypt Shields on attacks that have no rending. So that's pretty cool. That makes them a little bit stronger. Then they also have the ability to take a Tomb Shield. What they do is they basically, if you have them equipped with Tomb or Crypt Shields, they can use their Crypt Shields to form a shield fortress, or technically like a walking turtle almost. And you add, as long as they don't run or charge on this turn, and you add +1 to their save rolls for the unit until its next movement phase. Oddly enough, these guys know magic, they're related to magic. It's Death Wizards know the spell Raise Skeletons, and Raise Skeletons is a cast value of 5. If you're successful, raise a unit of 10 skeletons within 18 inches of the Death Wizard, and at least 9 inches away from the enemy. And if you roll and get at least a 10, then you get to set up a 20-man unit instead. So that's pretty good. And that's it for those guys. We'll move on to Black Knights. There's a Hell Knight, and he's basically their sergeant. It's just he makes 2 attacks. There's a Standard Bearer, which is pretty much the same as the Skeleton Warriors. Instead, you return D3 models during the hero phase, obviously because these guys are more elitist. Then you get a Hornblower, and you also, with that one, you get the automatic 6 inches unless your roll charges higher. Crypt Shields, you get +1 save to this unit against attacks that have a rend of nothing. And then the Death Wizards raise Black Knights. It has a cast-in value of 5. You set up a unit of 5 Black Knights. I'm sorry, is what I meant earlier. You set up a unit of 5 Black Knights within 18 inches of the wizard, but not more than 9 inches too close to the enemy. They can't move the following movement phase. Gosh, I am so sorry, guys. But if you cast with a 10 or more, you get to set up 10 Black Knights instead. So this is definitely an army where you're going to want to have, yes, buy this box, but if you want to get the full use out of them, definitely go ahead and purchase more skeletons, more Black Knights. At least a box of each, because you're going to be definitely using that, especially if you're summoning, because your Skeleton Warriors are going to go down pretty quick with 1 wound each. and even the horsemen with 2 wounds, they're still pretty good, but they're going to deplete pretty quickly. So especially with having a little bit higher saves, you got a 6+ save and a 5+ save, so they're not very strong. It's all about having the numbers. They're definitely a horde army of sorts. Also, these guys should be pretty easy to paint for the most part, so that's a good thing. You're really only going to need like a silver, a black, a white, and maybe like some blues or something like that for for Arcan. So most definitely with these guys, they're all going to be pretty much like close range, so you're going to want to get them in closer. Maybe throw some mystic shielding on them, and then basically what I would do is I would have all the warriors do the shield fortress with their shields, and then put mystic shielding on them and just slowly march them across the field. That's going to give you an additional 2+ save on top of the regular save, so it's a 3+. So they're much more survivable that way. So pretty much what the idea is to slowly march them across the field until you can get close enough to do some actual damage. Your horsemen probably are going to be more of a flanking distraction unit. And if I don't know, did I not read? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay, I thought I read it, but I didn't. The Black Knights have something called Spectral Steeds, and they basically ignore any movement hindrances from scenery. So basically, they're flyers as well. So I would probably use your hero Arcan and those guys to kind of flank while you slowly march your skeletons forward with that 3+ save. If I have any of those rules wrong, please correct me, guys. I'm learning as I go, kind of reading these and going through the rules and stuff like that. I know it's a lot simpler, so I should be able to pick up on it pretty quickly. But yeah, so just run your skeleton warriors up the middle, your knights and Archon around both sides and flank, and you should be golden. These guys are pretty interesting. I like them. They will be a little bit more of an expensive army because you're going to have to buy more models per se, but I think that they'd be an absolute blast to play. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will gladly see you guys soon.